all, James Johnson, aka Sulfur Blade, and I'm back here with the continuation of our Pentiment Let's Play series. I'm actually hoping that this will be the last episode, as I'm frankly kind of tired of this game. Alright, so we just went down this mine shaft. So now we're supposed to... what are we supposed to do at this point? Should head to the rat house and finalize my plans. I should sit down to read it through soon. Perhaps I'll learn something for the mural. Should I read the book first? Probably. Where would I do that? Probably at my house. You. Huh? I'm talking to you. Answer me. Yes? I'm Haller Brandt, the Lord's gamekeeper. Why are you grazing pigs in the woods? I'm not. Do I look like I raise pigs? Why not? You look like a little girl who's going to be in a lot of trouble if she doesn't answer my question. Was that you watching me a few minutes ago? The rock almost hit me. Watching you? No. Rock? I don't know what you're talking about. Now answer me. I'm the printer's daughter, Magdalene Druckerin. I didn't ask for your name. I asked why you were grazing pigs here. Answer me. For the love of God, that's not my pig! I've been walking around this forest for hours. Other than the charcoal burner and the tinker, you're the only other person I've seen. If the pig doesn't belong to you, what are you doing here? I was in the salt mine. Doing what? Wait, I don't care. Just tell me whose pig this is. I don't know. The pig was in the woods when I came in here. Ah, a mysterious lost pig, who apparently belongs to no one. If I find any more pigs in these woods, I'll kill them on the spot. And those who brought them here. Do you understand? Fine. Remind your neighbors what happens when you break the Lord's law. I knew the Lord's men patrolled these woods, but I've never seen one before. I didn't realize they were so strict. I suppose I should consider myself lucky. Anyway, time to get out of these woods and back to work at the rat house. What an ass. I mean, now that pig is just going to sit there and the meat's going to rot? I mean, somebody should come butcher it? What a waste of good meat. And he hadn't seen anyone in the woods. There were two people right there. Is he blind as a bat? Oh, what's Clara doing here? She's probably helping me out. Sleep. Magdalene, dear. Hello, Clara. Thank you again for helping me look after the house. I can't tell you how much more time this gives me to work on the mural. Oh, it's no trouble. You have your hands full as it is. I know. Dad really enjoys the company while I'm working, too. Ah, yes. He sleeps most of the day, but he's been in good spirits when I drop in on him. You two keep a clean house, too. Well, aside from the workshop, but I can't blame you for that. I've left that to you to take care of. I don't want to damage any of your supplies. Thank you, Clara, truly. You've been such a blessing to us both. Oh, you're such a dear, Magdalene. Bless you. Alright, doesn't look like I have an option to sit down and read. So, I guess we're heading to the right house. Why not? Let's blaspheme. What? How many times do I have to tell you? Use my proper name. Oh, alright, sorry. Anyway, Magdalene, how's the mural going? Doesn't look like much yet. I only just finished priming the wall. Now I have to decide what to depict. It's hard to piece together the history of Tassing when it happened so long ago. Since the Abbey library burned, I can only rely on stories from people around Tassing. Even what I could find out about the Romans and pagans was obscure. I had to go into the old salt mine to find anything. At least now I know what to paint for the first part of the mural. So what is it? Really? Is that how we all get here? Kinda sounds like some story I heard about a saint. I don't think I've heard it, sorry. So what made you choose this story anyway? I like that it's about the founding of Tassing. Everyone knows the spring in the woods. I guess that's true. We all know that it's old and it's always been here. This just tells a story about how we found it. Thanks for explaining it. Of course, I want you all to understand why I'm making these choices. Or, yeah, you're welcome. Well, now that I figured this portion of the mural out, I better start thinking about the next section. I'll leave you to it, Mags. Magdalene? Good night, Odds. Good night, Magdalene. Now that I've decided to depict Tassing's earliest history, I should decide how to paint Kearsaw's history. Mother Illuminata Slitter mentioned that That Matthew used to be a brother in Curacao. She said he knew a great deal about the Abbey history. I should write to him and ask him what he remembers. Oh, and I have Esther's letter to answer too. I should write to them both now before bed. Well, before I write, I should read that old book Brigida gave me. Maybe I'll learn something pertinent for the murals. Yes, I should read the book. Where do I read the book at? Do I have to go upstairs to read the book? Well, how do I sit down to read it? Maybe it'll let me after I write. Alright, where to begin? Right, the old book. It was the Barons before Martin stole it. Can't make much out of it. The Latin is much harder than I'm used to. The book isn't in great shape either, since it's been sitting in a farmer's house for so long. Let's see. Oh, here's a section about the various dedications erected in the town that might be easier to read. This one seems like a dedication of Mars to bless a field. This one talks about Diana wetting herself, bathing in a spring. Oh, this one isn't as hard. Let's pray so that he or she really may defend the town. None of this really makes any sense. Maybe someone with better Latin than me could help me read it. The book is so big, though, it would be a lot of work. I could ask Sister Gertrude or Baltus for help. Werner, too. He's much better at Latin than anyone else in town. Maybe even Father Thomas, even though Dad warned me not to bother him with secular books. Chances are slim they could help, but it might be worth asking about. I should finish writing my letters first. Mother Illuminata told me that Matthew knew some of the Abbey's early history. He's the Archdeacon of Sion now, and I should write to him before the snow comes. I'll write to Esther too. Most revered Matthew Faucine Sachs, Archdeacon of Most revered Matthew, formerly of Curacao Abbey. As the Archdeacon. Okay. My name is Magdalene Druckerin. I'm the daughter of Tassing's town printer Klaus. My father and I are creating a mural for Tassing's rat house. We want to show the history of the town and the Abbey. Mother Illuminata told me that you might be the best person to ask about Curaçao's early history. I heard that you were the sacristan at Curaçao and knew a great deal about the Abbey's early history. Look at this, right? I understand you are a busy man, but we would be most appreciative of any information you could give us. If you know of any other places where we might learn about the Abbey's history, we would appreciate it. I know it may be small comfort, but there are many in Tassing who regret what happened during the revolt. Yeah, sure. Sister Gertrude is still here, and with poor Claire's, and she speaks fondly of the old abbey. Thank you for your help. Magdalene. Esther. Please forgive me for not writing sooner. So much has happened since I last wrote. Even as my last letter was en route to you, Dad was attacked in the workshop in the middle of the night. He survived, thank God, but his injuries are terrible. I worry about him. He's so dizzy, he can't get out of bed. Some days his eyes become foggy and his memory fails him. Dr. Stoll said that he is not going to recover, and it's only a matter of time before he succumbs to his injury. He's going to do the best he can to make things comfortable for Dad. I'm glad he's here to help. I don't trust the doctor myself. I have no idea who could have wanted to attack my father or why. I found a note by him, too. All it said was stop. It wasn't from the shop, because the script was written in the most elaborate hand I've ever seen. No one in Tassing has such skill in script, as far as I know. And anyway, I don't have the time to wonder about it. I've had my hands full running the workshop alone while tending to Dad. What's more, the town council intended to cancel the mural entirely. I had a hell of a time convincing them to let me paint it instead. They made a fuss about me being too young, not experienced enough, not strong enough to be on the scaffold. You know how it is. I suppose I shouldn't have expected any better of them. Working on the mural has been a welcome distraction from the naysayers and my chores, and worrying about Dad. Otts has been coming over under the pretense of helping me prepare my paints, too. It's sweet, and I'm glad for the company. He makes my day easier. I wish he'd stop. He's not subtle, and his flirting is annoying. I'd like to have the whole mural finished by Christmas if I can. I just want to finish it in time for Dad to see it. It would mean so much to him. If Dr. Stolz is right, I don't know how long I have. I hope you're faring better than we are. All my love, Magda. So yeah, I don't trust Dr. Stoltz because to me he's the only possible person left in this narrative that could be writing these letters. He's educated, he's able to read Latin, etc. He's really the only possible person left that could be writing these notes. Unless it's just a mysterious person that hasn't been introduced anywhere in the storyline, then he's off the hook. But if it's limited to who we know through the course of this game, the good doctor's the only person left. Everyone else has died that would have the intelligence and the ability to write these letters. I mean, Baltus is intelligent and capable of it, but he didn't exist in the first chapter. He arrived in the second chapter, so that rules out Baltus. Well, there is the priest. But something about the priest just... It's not the priest. I really don't think it would be Father Thomas. So I guess Father Thomas could be a candidate, but I'm definitely leaning much more towards the doctor myself. Alright, what's next on my list of things to do? The letters are done. I should go to bed. I hope I hear back from Matthew soon. What about the history test? Should ask around Todd for help translating Latin. Sister Gertrude, Baltus, Dr. Stolz, either Father Thomas. So, I'm not going to ask the doctor, nor Father Thomas. Baltus seems like the better candidate to get objective answers from. Is it going to let me talk to him at this time of night? Probably not. Probably should have gone to bed. And I'm wasting my time running over to his house right now. Oh, it's gonna let me in. Wait, who the hell are you? Right. Let's go down here. Where is Voltus? Who are you? Ciao, Magdalene. I can't seem to get up these stairs. So it's not going to let me talk to Baltus right now. Of course not. Just lay down. A few more letters for you. Take care. Thank you, sir. Safe travels. First letter is from Reverend Matthew. Mr. Struckeren, I was not acquainted with your family during my years at Curacao. Even so, I remember your father was one of the townsfolk who prevented the peasantry from burning us alive. I'm not overly inclined to assist the people of Tassing in their endeavors to catalog the origins of the abbey they destroyed. Even so, it was a long time ago. In the interest of posterity and Christian charity, I will tell you what I recall. Some time after the Romans left, Christians settled in the region and built Curacao Abbey on the ruins of the fortress. The abbey was founded by a nobleman of the Curacao family. She was both its patron and its first abbess. Perhaps 2 centuries ago, Curacao changed to being run by an abbot. I do not know the reason, but many other double monasteries did likewise around the same time. It may have been done out of fear of being shut down, as double monasteries were frowned upon by the Pope. Sadly, that is the extent of my knowledge. Your neighbors put any other records about the abbey to the torch. Sic Arsit Historia Curses. Thus burned the history of Curacao. Even so, I have heard that sisters of the Poor Clares have formed a new chapter at the abbey. I can only hope that their love of apostolic poverty has not driven them to impoverish the shrine of St. Moritz. Assuming they have not consigned the contents of Curaçao's former occupants to a bonfire, you may find something there. It is hard to be overjoyed at the news of your neighbor's late regrets. Many of the injuries inflicted 18 years ago will never heal. Regret cannot undo what has been done, but we can all find redemption through Christ. We must pray for the love and reconciliation in the days ahead. In the end, that is all that matters. Winter comes swiftly. Huguenots and Lutherans plague my homeland. Thank the Lord, you still live in a land ruled by the one true church. I hope this has been of some help to you and yours. May God keep and protect you. The most reverend? That's a strange thing. Okay, the most Reverend Matthew, Archdeacon of Sion. Another reply from Esther. Oh, Magdalene. I'm terribly sorry to hear about your father. My parents send their deepest condolences. If we can provide you anything from Prague, you need only send a word. I know we are further away than is easy to travel, but I will see that what Hashem allows. Father says that he remembers no one who would want to harm your father. Yet the night I was born, he remembers great strife in town. Perhaps there is old blood over depicting the night of the revolt. That is all he could suggest. We pray for you and your father every day in our offerings. Hashem will make all things right in time. He will exact justice on the culprit. I am encouraged to hear that the town council let you continue the mural after all. The guilds here would protect your right to complete a job, especially once a contract has been reached. You give the men of the council too much grace. Why should you be forced to settle for their old way of thinking? We live in a new age, an age where art and science have come together, an age when all may read the works of the great sages in their own language. Truly, when your father recovers, I urge you to come visit me in Prague. But I'm glad you found some joy in your work on the mural. We are all well here. Elisha has been carving a new set of wood cuttings, and Father has agreed to a new contract with the university. I found Simond. His family didn't move far away after all. He's planning on working as a doctor in the city once the expulsion order ends. His parents have been meeting with Mother and Father quite often now, so I hope that I will be sending good news in my next letter, with Hashem's help. Please inform us of your father's condition in your next letter. Be well, Esther. That's all the letters I have for now. I should head home and check on Dad. Good morning, Magdalene. I'm here, right on time. I hope you're well. Well enough. How's my dad? That is what we were about to discuss. How are you feeling, Klaus? His fever broke at dawn this morning. That's good news, right? All things in time, I still feel weak. The dizziness has not receded. My head continues to spin whenever I try to sit or stand up for too long. Occasionally I'm struck with sudden and severe headaches. The damage runs deeper than I first thought. Let me be honest here with both of you. I am worried the circumstances are not unfolding to our benefit. Klaus, your health is not mending. Perhaps it's due to your age. Perhaps we have passed numerous critical days with no change for the better. Meanwhile, the winter draws closer, and I am running low on medical supplies. With the roads into town likely snowed in, especially the pass, supply shipments will not arrive for months. Have you asked Gertrude for help? I have. I'm surprised, Werner. I didn't think you'd even take her seriously. We have consulted on matters. She has seen head injuries before and remembered what Brother Florian told her. It has been a difficult year, even with the patrols in Bavaria. Many merchants have been struck by bandits. French troops have periodically raided the western holdings of our empire. With the fall of Esztergom and Dadada to the Ottoman Turks, many trade routes from the east have been cut. The pillage of Nice by the Barbarossa corsairs and our losses in Italy have also put us into a predicament in the south. All I'm hearing is excuses from a doctor that doesn't want my dad to recover. As always, we suffer from the wars of others. The Empire struggles, but can't you gather supplies around here? I will do what I can, but our options are limited. I wish I already had a copy of Basilius de Humane Corpus Fabrica. In the meantime, Klaus, Magdalene, pray to God. I must take my leave. I will come by again next week. I thank you, Dr. Stultz. Until then, Doctor. Stay out of trouble, Magdalene. He worries too much. I'll be alright. Do you want anything to eat before I leave for the day? I'm working on the next section of the mural today. I'm not so hungry right now. I'll be alright. You need to start eating, guy. Just get plenty of food and water and lay there and you'll be fine. Your letter from the Archdeacon, yes, that's right. What did you learn from him? He didn't have much to say. He was still upset about the Abbey's destruction. He did say the Abbey was founded by a noblewoman after the Romans left everything else burned in the fire. How unfortunate. I know the brothers kept careful records of the monastery. So much lost in one night. The Archdeacon did suggest the poor Clares might have held on to some of the records from the Covenant. I should be able to learn more about Tassing's Christian history there. An excellent place to start, Magdalene. Sister Gertrude doesn't come out of the Covenant much, but I think it's worth asking her. Maybe Father Thomas knows something too. I should talk to him. If I recall correctly, the miller's wife has a long family history in Tassing. She may know something of the local history that others have forgotten. Elsie? I thought she moved here when she married. She doesn't have any relatives in town. Not anymore. Age, illness, and marriage took the rest of her family. But the Caviezel's used to live all up and down this valley. Go talk to her. I will, thanks, Dad. Maybe something remained in the Abbey's ruins. I should definitely see what's left. You be careful, those ruins are dangerous. I won't go far into them, Dad. Just to take a look. It can't be that dangerous. The ruins have been sitting there for almost 20 years. I won't go far into them, Dad. Just to take a look. Alright, wear a scarf too. It's getting cold out now. I can feel it in my bones. Don't worry, Dad. I'll see you tonight, alright? Alright, good luck. Well, Sister Gertrude can knock 2 stones out, so let's go see Sister Gertrude. Who's that? Martha. I should talk to Sister Gertrude since she was a Benedictine nun at Kearsarge before the poor Clares arrived. She would be able to tell me all about the Covenant's history for the mural. That's why I'm up here, right? Things have changed up here. Hello, kitty. And what about the deformed kitty behind it? God bless you, Magdalene. Hello, sister. I have a favor to ask of you. Of course, Magdalene. I'll help however I can. I have a book, the History Tassé, and I can't read it very well. Can you help me translate it? Oh, I'm afraid my Latin isn't good enough to translate something like that. Its grammar structure are far too complex. I'm sorry, Magdalene. That's all right, sister. I'll have to find another way. There was one more thing, if you don't mind. It's about the Red House mural. Oh, did you need more paint? I believe I have enough galls stored away. No thank you, sister. I have more than enough paint. I want to ask you about the history of Kearsall, actually. I'd like to include the Abbey's founding and the history of tassing saints to the Red House mural. I wrote to Reverend Matthew, since he lived at the Abbey, but wanted to see the place firsthand. Oh, Brother Matthew became a reverend, did he? He was always suited for such a role. But I don't suppose that's what you came up the hill for. You're curious about the saint's history, yes? Yes, I was hoping you could show me around the convent and tell me about its history. The Poor Clares don't allow outsiders within the convent, even other women. Mother Francisca wouldn't like anyone coming in for such a worldly concern. Well, I understand. However, Mother Francisca always welcomes those who are considering joining the order. If a young woman sincerely considered joining the convent, she may be allowed to enter and observe the sisters. Who knows what else she may discover while contemplating the holy life, Ah, yes, I see. Well, I suppose exploring all of my options can't hurt. I've always been drawn to your veil, sister. There's something about the fashion. Well, I suppose exploring all of my options can't hurt. Touring the convent will take some time. Would you like to go see Mother Francesca now? Yeah, let's go. Mother Francesca, I'd like to introduce Magdalene Drucker, the printer's daughter, yes? God bless you, Magdalene. Father Thomas told us of your father's condition, and we pray for his recovery daily. Oh, thank you, Abbess. Such is our duty to serve the Lord and the community that provides for us. Now, what is this about, Sister Gertrude? You know our holy rules. Why bring young Mistress Drucker to me? Forgive me, Mother. Magdalene is searching for a place in the world and is so contemplating the holy life. I thought observing the sisters might aid her in her spiritual search. She was encouraged by the idea. Ah, right, yes. I wonder that you've never come up to the Abbey before, Mistress Drucker. If God is calling you to the convent, I am more than willing to help you fulfill that divine cause. What brought this change on? Why are you interested in joining the Poor Clares? I'm worried that helping my father, running the shop alone, and finishing the mural are too much for me. Well, if I become a sister, I won't have to marry, which is far better than being stuck bearing kids for the rest of my life. Why, I had a holy vision. Saint Sadia told me that I was destined for higher things. Well, if I like this one. Well, if I become a sister, I won't have to marry, which is far better than being stuck bearing kids for the rest of my life. Magdalene, I do not encourage such a reason for joining the order. Remember, the Lord commanded man to be fruitful and multiply. However, I understand if the Lord brings you to the convent for such a reason. Some women are born barren. If you truly desire the holy life, then you are more than welcome to observe the sisters. Please come. I'm happy to tell you more of our order. Our small convent used to be part of the larger Kiersau double monastery, as I'm sure you've been told by Sister Gertrude. However, the poor Clares live far differently than the Benedictines that once lived here. We believe that it is not ours to produce, and live solely on the alms of the community of Tassing as they see fit to give. Likewise, none of the sisters here own any personal property. We share this convent as a gift from the Church. We believe that though God called us into a life of poverty and service, does such a life appeal to you, Magdalene? I'm not entirely certain yet. I'd like to explore and look around and get a feel for the place. Magdalene, you must not have understood me. We have deliberately closed ourselves off from the world. I won't have a laywoman bothering the sisters from their duties or disturbing our rule. However, I will allow Sister Susan to show you our duties. Please take your time. When you have finished, please come find me and we will discuss your decision to join. Finally, I thought she'd never leave. Never finish. What? Truth. What are you doing, Magdalene? What am I doing? Why am I saying this? I don't want to say this. Truly, I'm not here to join the convent. I'm looking for references for a mural I'm painting in the Red House. Well, I'm going to take a look around. Where are we going first? Why would I say that? Now that lecture's over, I can get on with what I came here for. Are you coming? Where are we going first? The convent has many parts. The kitchen, the locarium, the chapter house, the yard, and the old workshop, though no one uses the old shed anymore. I'll leave it to you to decide where to go first. Well, let's go to the chapel. Well, what does that say? And shouldn't I be interested in reading what that says? This is the chapel, where we all gather for Mass and liturgy. It's the oldest part of the convent. And the most drafty. Hello again, Sister Gertrude. The sisters have done some minor retouches over the years, but it has represented the abbey from its earliest day. Oh, there's the tower and the library. The cloister is still being constructed here. Yes, the tower was a Burgfried long before the structure became a monastery. The duchy gifted it to the Benedictine order after the Holy Roman Empire grew. They had no use for it as a keep. These walls have protected Tassing from attacks of spirit and steel for generations. There's some Latin here too, but I can't read it very well. God called Lady Sabine to lead our sisters and brothers in 1261. Lord Kirsaw's castle was destroyed by fire in the year of death of Emperor Frederick II. Only the tower remained. Thank you, Sister Susan. Yes, the first lists the abbey's founding date. The Lady Kirsaw was actually the one to suggest the old castle be turned into a double monastery. We added the second shortly after the revolt. Mother Illuminata thought it would be fitting, even if the sisters were not here, some record of what occurred would remain. Kirsaw is unique, a double monastery with 2 saints, one male and one female, to guard the town and the abbey. Fascinating to think that even before the Duke gifted it to the church, the fortification was founded by St. Moritz. The saints have a long history in these lands. Many things once thought lost are truly foundational to how we live. You're right, sister. This mural would be a great reference for the Rat House. Then I'm glad to have helped. God bless you, Magdalene. Here's the Loquarium. Most of the Abbey's visitors come in here, but aren't allowed to enter. We aren't allowed to go into the outside world either, like Mother Francisca said. Isolation is a part of our vows. Sister Gertrude once told me the old Benedictine sisters used to go out into town sometimes, and even talk to men on occasion. And I'm stuck here staring at these walls for the rest of my life. Are you unhappy here, Sister Susan? I don't know. My father promised me to the church as a baby. Some oath he swore when my mother struggled in her pregnancy. So there I was, dropped into the Poor Clare the summer I turned 17. I'm sorry, no one should be forced into a life they don't want. We daughters are born to bear our family legacy. Between our legs or on our back, it doesn't matter. My family is devoted to the church. I've only been in the covenant for 2 years, but I'm trying my best. See, that's a perfect example. Why did we have to wait to show this? And then when we did show it, we showed it misspelled. So then we had to wait for that to then spell correctly. Most of this misspelling and crap is just absolutely pointless. There's no reason for it. It doesn't enhance anything. I don't mind the prayers or the hours, and I'm sure my devotion to the Lord, but that isn't what I wanted. But since when did a woman ever get what she wanted without being punished? Eve couldn't even manage it. I mean, that's what I should say because that's what my character should think. But nothing up until this point has made me think my character thinks like this at all. I pray that one day it'll be different. Maybe, but we certainly won't ever live to see it. Sometimes I get jealous of Sister Gertrude and even Sister Margaret. At least they got to see something of the outside world before they were 20. Don't forget Matilda and Wolslav. They used to be part of Curacao too. Oh, why do I need to remind her of more things that are going to make her unhappy? If you could do anything else, what would it be? Oh, that's interesting. I think you're lucky you don't have to deal with boys. No, I don't think she's going to find that lucky. Why don't you leave? I don't think she has that option. Hey, you're if you could do anything else, what would it be? I would have liked to go to one of the big cities at least once. I would have been happy just to be a shopkeeper's wife. Sigh. Thanks for listening, Magdalene. Anyway, let me show you the rest of the cloister. Lead on. That doesn't go anywhere, okay. Courtyard. Brr, it's colder today. There's not much in the yard that could help you, I think. Anything that was here has long been covered in weeds. All I know about this place is that the walls here were added when the convent was built onto the monastery. Oh, God bless you, Sister... Oh, God bless you, Sister Benedicta. Sister Suzanne, God bless you. Ugh, this ice is hard. Do I recognize you, Sister Benedicta? I think I've seen you in town once or twice. Yes, you'd have seen her. Sister Benedicta is the youngest of the sisters. Mother Francisca allows only one sister to deal with the townsfolk. Benedicta received this privilege. Burden, more like. I have to run around everywhere gathering all the food and doing all the chores. I'd rather be inside where it's warm. What are you doing up in the convent anyway? Snooping? I'm considering joining the Poor Clares, actually. Oh, you are? It would be nice to have another new face around. Don't let me keep you. Actually, Sister Benedicta, I wanted to ask you some questions. Do you like being a nun? Oh yes, I don't mind it at all. It's far quieter than home, and I don't have to share my bed with my siblings anymore. I like to help the older sisters, and I don't mind the chores except when it's cold like this. One more question, Sister Benedicta. Have you seen any mysterious figures or ghosts lately? Ghosts? No, everything has been normal recently. I haven't noticed anything odd. Is this about Sister Marie's ghost? I think it's Mauritius myself? Oh no. So there is a ghost in the eye? Well, I haven't seen anything myself, but if there is a ghost, I like to think it's Mauritius. Don't tell Mother Francisca this, but I find an old book about Christian legends hidden in the workshop. It said that a Roman commander named Mauritius conquered Tassing, but the colony failed. Most of the town was empty until the Christian refugees found the town hidden in the valley. It was a miracle. I wonder if this is a different retelling of St. Moritz saving Tassing. Oh, maybe. I don't remember if the book mentioned any saints. The Latin was hard to read. Anyway, when Sister Marie said she saw a ghost, I thought it must be Mauritius trying to get us out. A Roman ghost couldn't be happy about his tower being turned into an abbey, could he? What did you do with this book, sister? Oh, well, I had it with me in the kitchen one day, and, well, I accidentally laid the fire poker on it. Oh my god, it must be completely destroyed. I tried to fix it, but it's unreadable now. Sorry, Magdalene. I suppose it's better the book got some use before it was lost forever. Besides, that story gives me an idea for the Roundhouse Mural. Thank you for telling me about the book, sister. I won't tell Mother Francesca. God bless you, sister. Haha, thanks, Magdalene. God bless you. Cough. Workshop is covered in dust. Yes, this was the Benedictine sisters' workshop. They used to make badges and art for pilgrims coming to see the hand of St. Moritz. It looks like everything was just left here after the fire. Nothing's been used in years. We can't subsist on painting, and the poor Clares don't produce goods for sale, so we have no reason to be in here. Just because art isn't essential to survival means you can't do any kind of painting? That sounds horrible. We have other ways to make art, singing, telling stories, things like that, but yes, the workshop is off limits. Mother Francisca doesn't let us come in here unless to put something in storage. I've come in a few times and noticed some of the brushes have gone missing. Paint pots too. You think one of the sisters is secretly painting? Oh Lord, no. We all live too close together in the convent for something like that to go unnoticed. In any case, I think it's sad the workshop is left like this. Truthfully, Magdalene, I don't think you should join the convent, even if that's not what you were here to do anyway. Gertrude talks about you, and you seem to love your art. Without it, you'd hate it here. Well, thank you for being honest. What's here? There's an old parchment scrap here. It's different than the others. Mithraeum Tasse. It looks like a scrap from a manuscript. There's something written in Latin in the margin. It says, the Mithraeum of Tassing had been destroyed by a flood. Mithraeum. That's the same word I saw in the Roman section of the mine. Wait, this might be from the book Sister Benedicta found. I wonder why it would mention the Mithraeum. Why would someone have written that in the margin of the manuscript? And where's the rest of the book? I don't know. I thought all the books had burned in the library during the old revolt. Well, wherever the book ended up, it's not here. Such valuable paint left to dry and crack on the palettes. These old badges are beautiful. I hope the pilgrims who bought them love them too. Alright, that's all there is to do in here. Can I go through this door? That doesn't seem so. It's to the cloister. Margaret. Well, let's talk to this Margaret person. Hello, Margaret. It's Magdalene. Oh, Magdalene. God bless you. You don't normally come to the convent alone. What brings you here? Not that you're not welcome, of course. It's always wonderful to have visitors. I had some spare time and thought I would say hello. Oh, well, hello. Haha. It is good to hear your voice, though I enjoy it when outsiders visit the convent. Do you miss the outside world much, sister? Yes, sometimes. I miss the others. Benedictine sisters, especially. She'd never admit it, but Sister Elizabeth had the most wonderful voice. I always stood next to her, if I could. Why stay then? Why didn't you leave when the Benedictines left Curacao? Truth be told, I was too frightened to leave. Curacao is my home. I didn't like the idea of becoming accustomed to a new place. Learning the convent's ins and outs was hard enough. I never went outside the convent much. Anyway, I know where everything is here, even if it's changed over the years. Sister Gertrude had already planned to stay too. The garden always needs tending, and 2 hands make light work. Besides, I can't leave Mossfinger behind. Ah, of course, she truly is the Queen of Curacao. Has the Covenant changed much since the Poor-Clares arrived? Yes, the food is simpler and some of the prayers are different, but all the chores and gardening is the same. Gertrude misses making ink for the scriptorium, but I've enjoyed learning the sisters' new customs. Speaking of which, I should probably return to my chores. Of course, sister, apologies for interrupting. Not at all, Magdalene. God bless you. Now, to the kitchen. This is the kitchen. There's not anything that's interesting here. But there's fish being filleted. Sister Marie and Sister Isabu take care of most of the kitchen duties, but everyone pitches in when needed. Alright, nothing to look at per se. God bless you, child. Are you delivering something? I'm considering joining the convent, so Mother Francesca graciously allowed me to visit with you. Hallelujah, glory and praise be to God. You brought such joy to me this day, child. I haven't actually joined yet, sister. Do you have a strong stomach? Perhaps you can help Sister Isbo and me in the kitchen. I enjoy preparing meals for the sisters that nourish us, but I can never bring myself to butcher the animals. Sister Yezebo has graciously taken on the task for me. Yeah, it's taking her forever to fillet that fish. We need subsistence, but I feel butchering any animal is wrong according to the rule of St. Francis. To cause suffering to any living creature is unnecessary and evil, even if God granted Adam and Eve dominion over the animals. The kitchen seems fairly simple. Is there anything here from the convent's founding days? No more than the structure itself. I'm afraid cookware needs replacing over the years. Though some nights a ghost appears to me by the cook fire, a lost spirit trapped between heaven and hell. Sister Marie, not this again. Not to Magdalene, please. Could it have been the ghost of one of the sisters from the founding of the Covenant? Maybe Saint Tessiah? If it was, she has never said a word to me, though I fell prostrate in prayer before her. The spirit, whoever it is, rose up through the ground at vigils. Dawn and dusk are the hours when the boundaries between the world and the spiritual world are the weakest. We may be the newest arrivals here, but this convent is very old. Perhaps there was something Roman underneath this foundation centuries before. The spirit may seek to know the presence of God now that it rests on holy ground. Why would it come to the convent, though? It breaks my heart to think this spirit was crying out for help, trapped beyond the heaven's reach. Why don't we keep going, Magdalene? It's better not to get Sister Marie too upset. Of course, God bless you, sister. God bless you, child. Well, you've seen the entire convent. There's not much here. What do you think of it? Could see why people chose the holy life, but it's not for me. Not without art. I understand. You've dedicated your whole life to your work. You'd struggle to give that up now. It's been so long since I've spoken to anyone from outside the convent. I'm reminded of the life I once had. Now you have me thinking about whether or not I should remain with the sisters. Uh-oh! Really? I don't have an option to be silent here? Well, if you don't want to be here, you should go. Your family just left you here. You don't owe the sisters anything. Agreed that being forced into a convent is wrong. Asked what Susan wants to do with her life. Failure. I do, though. The sisters have taken care of me. They love me, and I love them. Even if this life wasn't my choice, they accepted me. Who knows? Maybe it will get better in time. Maybe I'll try to help any way I can, even if it's just sneaking around the convent wall to say hello. Really? That would be wonderful, so long as no one found out. Anyway, we should return to Mother Francesca before she suspects something. I learned a lot today. Thank you for showing me around the convent. No, thank you. No, thank you, Magdalene. Today has been more interesting than any I can remember in the Abbey. Come, let's find Mother Francesca. She'll be wanting to hear what you thought of the place. Well, Magdalene, what is your assessment of the poor Clares? Is the good Lord calling you to a life with us as sisters? I am compelled by the devoted life the sisters led Mother Francesca, but I'm afraid I must tend to my father first. Of course, I understand caring for your father is in itself a noble path. However, if your heart leads you back up the hill, the door to the convents are always open to you. Our community is quite modest compared to the splendor of an old Benedictine house operating under the rule of a powerful abbot. I see why fewer women are drawn to the order these days. Thank you for allowing me inside. You are most welcome, Magdalene. God bless you. Yay! Ah, Magdalene, how did your little expedition go? I'm frustrated that there's so little left of the old abbey and saints. But sister, there's something I don't understand. The abbey was so prosperous. Why didn't the monks rebuild it after the fire? What a task that would be. The chapel was beautiful. The stained glass always caught my eye in the mornings. There was a great deal of anger and sadness in Tassing that night. The abbot felt the brothers and sisters were no longer welcome in Tassing and moved on. In truth, the abbey's dissolution was inevitable. Kearsarge was running out of money and patrons. The riot and fire were simply a particularly awful and painful way to end the monastery. Did anything survive the fire? Some of the buildings are intact, but all are terribly overgrown. I haven't dared forage in the rubble. I doubt you'd find anything of help for your mural inside other than the charred wood and parchment. Might still be worth taking a look if I'm careful. I worry after you sometimes, Magdalene. I really do. Thank you for your help, Sister Gertrude. You are most welcome, Magdalene. God bless you. Well, that was, I don't know. I did learn more about the founding of Kearsarge, and that illustration from the manuscript, the Mithraeum, it was like the one in the mine. It is part of the history of the Abbey of Tassing. It must be written down somewhere. If only the library hadn't burned down with everything in it. The ruins are right there. Maybe not everything was destroyed. The Hand of St. Moritz. The poor Clares take care of it now that the Benedictines are gone. I can't get in through that door, only this door, huh? My God, this is amazing. I wonder what it must have looked like before the fire. Everything collapsed in the fire. I'll have to be careful climbing over this rubble to get past. Oh shit. Oh no, I can't get back up there. If I climb, it might collapse further. I'll have to find another way out. Luckily, I know my way around the place. The crypt has been blocked, though. Wait, the only place I can go is to the tower? That's kind of limited. I can't climb the vines? I can see all of Tassing from here. I wonder if I can piece together the foundation of the Abbey and find a way to get to the library. I bet I could get down this way. The roof looks pretty stable. Oh God. I remember when the library burned down. You do? You were an infant. Dad told me I was just a baby, but I remember the flames coming out of the windows. So many people were screaming and running around. I cried myself to sleep that night. I haven't seen this place since then. Doesn't look like there's anything left inside. I suppose it was too much to hope for. Well, Magdalene, how are you going to get out of here? These roses seem to have made the Abbey their home. I'm glad something beautiful is still growing here. Well, I guess we're off to the cemetery. I can go to the cloister from here. Hey, I want to look at that. These roses seem to have made the Abbey their home. Yep, okay. And I can't get out, go down there. Wait. Cemetery feels like it grew. There's nothing there. Am I gonna find nothing? To the chapter house? Oh, an old mural. It's worn, but I can still see some of the figures. A dance of death. Some of this looks like it's changed. Who's been in here painting? What? These figures look new. The paint can't be more than a few years old. Someone's been adding to this. This feels wrong. Who would add new figures to the Dance of Death and why? These look like people from the town. From here, people who died. That must be the Baron. And that's Otto. Wait, is that? Someone's here. Hello? Who are you? The door. Whoever was watching me must have opened it. I don't like this. I think I've seen everything left of the Abbey. I want to get out of here. Snowing already. The almanac said it shouldn't start for another week at least. I think we're in for a hard winter. Hey, Kraft, did you see anyone leave just now? Oh, hey there. Hello, Kraft, what are you doing here? Nothing? Are you supposed to be, well, doing whatever you do all day long? What I do is none of your concern, Max. If you're doing something improper, it'll soon be the concern of Big Jorg to begin with. Damn, caught by the Imperial Law herself. What, am I not allowed to just stand near the shrine and the convent? Peeking at Artemis? Taking a bath is not enough? Now you're trying to sneak a look at the nuns? Well, one of them is attractive. And about my age, I think. They're nuns, don't be an asshole. So, nuns can like a good man such as myself, especially the younger ones. It's not as if they have to ignore the rest of the world. That's exactly what they do, idiot. They're nuns in a convent. Avowed to God. Since you apparently know everything about them, maybe you should join the convent yourself. That is exactly what I aim to do. What? Really? Absolutely, I can't wait to join. Huh? Magdalene the nun? I never would have imagined. The other boys are going to be heartbroken. Oh? Which ones? I'm not going to tell you. Since you'll soon be a nun, that's not anything you need to know. I suppose. Well, Gertrude is expecting me as we speak. Good day, Kraft. So odd. Alright, I think I needed to go to the mill and talk to... Elsie, yeah. Magdalene, dear, what brings you up the hill? Dad was telling me your family has been in Tassing for hundreds of years. Oh, is this for the mural? I'm not sure I want to get mixed up in that. I won't depict your family specifically, if that helps. You're one of the few people who knows anything about the town after the Romans left. The Millers have been a pillar of Tassing for generations, yes. Though I'm afraid I only know a little bit about them. And much of that's I've heard from others. Lenhart didn't care to talk about the past. I meant your family, the one you were born to. Your family named Caviezel, wasn't it? Oh. Not a soul in town has asked me about my family in years. I was beginning to think my neighbors had forgotten us. I'm not surprised your father remembers the Caviezel's. He was sweet on my sister before he met your mother. I'm the last of us left now. My elder sister married out of the town to a man in Innsbruck. I was told she died of the fever shortly after giving birth to her son. Yes, well, it was a long time ago. I wish I could have attended her, though, her birth and healing, but Lenhart needed me at home. I lost my brother, too, that year. What happened to him? It was so strange. He nicked himself while shearing the sheep, and 3 days later, his arm swelled up and a black ulcer settled into the wound. It didn't pain him, at least at first. He took to fever and passed in his sleep. The town didn't have a doctor at the time. No one knew what to do. And your parents? You mean to put this all in the mural, Magdalene? No, I'm just curious. I'd like to know you better. My father. His temper led him down the dark road. My parents struggled to love each other as husband and wife should. God called them back to the heaven. There is not much else to say. In any case, my grandfather told me the Caviezel's have lived in Tassing for hundreds of years. Perhaps even 1,000, though it seems impossible to imagine a time so long ago. The Caviezel's were pagan? Yes, the original Bavarian people. Here even before the Romans. My grandfather said his grandfather told him that the Caviezel's resettled the town after the Romans left. Built their new home right on the spot where they had been living when the Romans arrived. That's a remarkable story. It reminds me of Parzival's quest for the Grail. He's driven from the court of King Arthur and wanders the countryside honorless. He meets a holy man who brings him to God, and though regaining the honor of Parzival, completes his journey to the Grail. What a lovely idea. When I think of the ancient Cazavals driven from their land only to find it again and become Christians, they feel nearer to me. Do you understand? I think so. It's like when my dad tells me stories about courting my mom. I don't remember her face, but when he tells me about her smile, I could almost recall it. Yes, it doesn't matter whether you really remember. When I sing my sister's favorite song to Ulrich, I may not know all the words anymore. That's alright. Just as I may not know exactly how the Caviezel's resettled Tassing. What matters is that I feel close to her, and them, even though they are so far from me now. That is what stories are for, Magda. Now go on. You've got a mural to complete. Thank you, LMC. You've given me much to consider. God bless, Magdalene, dear. Alright, where are we here? Well, let's go back to figuring out this Latin book. Magdalene. Yes? The cinnamon I added to the beer is perfect. Cinnamon, doesn't that come from Ceylon? Ugh, yes, at great cost. Oh, never mind that. It's for the Christmas celebration. Oh, I suppose you don't have much time left. Quite right. The wheel of time stops for no man. But it's going to be wonderful. Cinnamon, coffee from Ethiopia, cocoa from the New World. Jesus Christ, he who has the money can do everything. Problem? Of course not. It's your money. Anyway, I'm quite excited about it. Clearly. And such alchemy is not normally my strong suit. And for all of Genez's complaints about the cost, the base rye we're using is free. Rye, isn't that against the purity order? Well, hee. The council and I, we agreed not to discuss it in public. Besides, I'm not charging anyone for it. And this makes it better? The farmers had so much rye this year, they couldn't use it all. Gret made as much bread with it as she could, but she wound up having to throw a lot out. So why not make beer? Yes, why not? Thank you. I was actually hoping you might be able to translate something for me. Translate from Latin? Yes? Came across a book about the history of tassing and I was hoping you could help me read it. Oh no, not today. I'm far too busy for that at the moment. And I have our hands full preparing the Christmas ale, you see. Of course, sorry to bother you. Not at all. Apologies I couldn't be of more help. That leaves the doctor and the priest. And I just don't trust the doctor. So, I'm going to the priest. Mary, Mother of Jesus, her painting has been here as long as I can remember. God bless you, Magdalene. And God bless you, Father Thomas. Do you have a moment? Of course, what can I help you with? I wanted to ask you about tassing saints. I'd like to represent them in the Rat House. I'm thrilled to hear it. The saints will make a wonderful centerpiece for the mural. You misunderstand, Father. I may incorporate them, but there are other possibilities. Then I will endeavor to convince you to include them. But you know, there is one saint you're overlooking. Why, the Blessed Virgin, of course, Mary. Many people forget that Mary is the greatest saint. And she visited one of the peasants here in Tassing centuries ago. The Virgin Mary appeared in Tassing? Why? Yes, she appeared to give a message. Centuries ago, a farmer in the fields behind us had 3 visions of Mary. In the first, she told him that she wanted him to tell the Bishop of Freising that she had appeared. The peasant traveled down to Freising, but the bishop would not see or hear him. That's not a short trip. It certainly is not, but the peasant had received a holy vision. What else could one do in the face of a divine revelation? The peasant returned to Tassing and had another vision in the fall. The Virgin showed him a pattern, a labyrinth. She told him to draw it on a sheet of birch bark and bring the drawing to the Bishop of Freezing. Why didn't she just give him the labyrinth? Why didn't she just give him the labyrinth the first time? The bishop attempted to turn the peasant away, but she could see the drawing of the labyrinth in his hands. It was the same image that the bishop had seen in a dream 3 nights earlier. He met with the peasant, who told him of the 2 apparitions he had seen here in Tassing. The bishop was moved by the peasant's story, and he came here to Tassing. The bishop came here? He did. It's the only time the bishop has come to Tassing. And when the bishop came, Mary appeared to both of them. She told the farmer that the town needed to build this church. She told the bishop to support the town. I had no idea that's where all this came from. It's not a story I tell much anymore. I suppose the people here think of Moritz and Sadia, their connection to this place. Mary is such a core part of their prayers that they forget about our particular Mary. But in any case, Our Lady's demands were clear, so the bishop helped fund the creation of this church. The people of Tassing have been using it ever since. You're not from Tassing. How did you hear the story? True, I'm not. The people told me when I came. And the former priest told them when they were children, and so on. The priest and the flock have shared the responsibility of passing on the story over the centuries. Thank you for the story, Father Thomas. Have I convinced you to include the saints prominently in the mural? I'm still considering it. Well, if deliberation fails you, perhaps you will find the prayer gives you greater clarity. God bless you in your work, Magdalene. God bless you, Father Thomas. I want him to... Can you spare a moment? Yes, of course, Magdalene. What is it? I found the book, but I can't read Latin very well. Could you help me translate it? The whole book? Oh dear, I can't afford that much time away from my duties right now. The Christmas sermon is coming up, and I already fallen behind on Advent preparations. Could the matter wait, perhaps? I'd be happy to look it over after the festivities. Of course, Father. Thank you, Magdalene. Gonna make me go to that damn doctor. I don't trust him. Hello, Magdalene. Can I help you? Hello, Dr. Stoltz. I have a book here, and I can't read it very well. I was wondering if you could help me translate it. If you bring it after Christmas, I might be able to help. I have too much to do right now. I can't spare that much time. Sorry, Magdalene. Until later. Well, it seems to be the trend here. Until then. Nobody can help me with the book right now. I think I've done everything I can. Let's go to the house. Good evening, Magdalene. Good evening, Dr. Stoltz. I see you're progressing on the tomb mural. You've made rapid progress. I'm trying to finish it in time for Dad, you understand? I'm doing the best I can to give him as much time as I can. The rest is in God's hands. Thank you, it's appreciated. Of course. Now then, the council is asked to hear about your progress. I've been researching the early Christian history of Tassing after the Romans left. Learning how people settled in the ruins, how the abbey was founded, why our saints are so important to us. It was a lot to take in, and I've settled on my subject. And what have you chosen, if I may ask? I want to show history, how it happened. I'll paint the Lady Kearsau founding the abbey from the old Bergfried. That might rub some people in town the wrong way. The saints are a core part of our Tassing's history, after all. I would be careful in how you choose to paint such a piece. Our Lord is a staunch Catholic. One could interpret the obeisance of the saints as well Lutheran. Clearly, that is not what I'm intending. It may not be so clear to our Lord. It may reflect poorly in Tassing. Remember, these murals are for all of us. I remember. Very well. After this section, there's still so much work to do. I haven't even figured out how I'm going to portray the revolt. Ah, yes. I imagine it poses difficulties that the other murals do not. It's a strange thing to tell a story that still lives in the hearts of so many people here. I don't think anyone wants to talk about it. They've all just locked it away. It sounds like you have your work cut out for you. I'll leave you to it then. Oh, Dr. Stoltz? Yes? Have you ever seen anyone lurking around the Abbey? Or heard about it? I haven't been up to the Abbey in years, and no, I haven't heard of anything like that. Why? I've seen someone following me a few times. Sorry to hear that. Didn't you run into the odious woodsman Holler Brat not long ago? I did. It wasn't a pleasant experience. Yes, but I don't think it's the same person. Well, if you have concerns, you should ask one of the boys to escort you when you're out. There's no need to risk your safety. You're right. Good night, Dr. Stoltz. Good night, Magdalene. Now I only have the final part of the mural to finish. How should I paint the revolt? Dad always talked about how the Archdeacon was the only one seeking justice in those days. But what was his name? The only name I can remember is the name of the Archdeacon who came to Tassing when the Baron was killed. Jacob Essler. Maybe he wrote an account of the revolt as Archdeacon. I'll write to him and ask. Of course I need to write back to Esther, too. I'll write to them tonight before bed. What is this? How did this get here? Stop. That damn doctor. This is just like the note Dad found. Are they trying to scare me? And if I don't stop, are they going to try to kill me next? I need to ask Dad about this. Can't be a coincidence. But he's been so weak, I don't want to upset him. I just need to wait for the right time. I hope there is a right time. Alright, where to begin? I'll write to the Archdeacon. I'll write a letter to Esther too. Jacob Essler, formerly Archdeacon of Freising. My name is Magdalene Druckerin. I am an artist in the town of Tassing in Upper Bavaria. I believe you passed through our community when you investigated Baron Rothfugl's murder in Kearsarge Abbey in 1518. Do you remember anything about that case that the people in Tassing might not remember? In particular, do you remember anything about someone writing notes to provoke killers? Did you see any evidence that might suggest there was some sort of a larger conspiracy at work? Do you have any reasons to doubt the conclusion of the case? More have appeared in Tassing in subsequent years, seemingly harbingers of death. Thank you for your help. Thank you for any help you can give. Magdalene Druckerin. Dearest Esther, hope you are well. You must know how tremendously happy I am for you and Simond, and Alicia too, of course, and your parents. Warms my heart to know your family is doing well. By the time this letter reaches you, I expect winter will have unfolded Tassing. It's already freezing at night, so I've reorganized the workshop so the inks don't deteriorate. Do you have to worry about that in Prague? You said it snows, but I always imagine it was warmer in winter. Dad is doing poorly, but at least he seems comfortable. He's sleeping more, but Dr. Stoltz says that's a consequence of the colder weather. I do what I can for him, but this winter has been hard. I've asked Agnes for help, but there's only so much she and Dr. Stoltz can do. He's not going to make it, and there's nothing I can do. Christ, I'm scared, Esther. The mural is progressing well, but I can't shake the feeling that someone is following me. I keep seeing this figure around town. After I explored the mines to see Tassing's early history, and then again in the Abbey ruins. No one else in Tassing has seen anything, but some of the nuns say they've seen ghosts. If it's the person who attacked my dad, why are they following me? Whoever it is, I'm sure it's not anyone from Tassing. But what do they want with me? If it's the person who attacked my dad, why are they following me? It's the strangest thing, given me a fright a few times already. And I found a strange note left on my bed, matching the one I found by my dad after the attack. They both only read the word stop, like a warning, but stop what? The mural? I can't stop that now. What if the person following me is the one writing them? Why? What do they want? But I don't want to worry you. Nothing happened to me yet, so I think I'll be safe. The only good news I can share at the moment is that the mural is almost finished. I should have it completed by Christmas, or soon after, before the new year, at least. Then perhaps, at long last, I shall be able to visit you and meet this Simond. Anyway, I fear that will be the last letter of the year. The Reichspost has already been late, and reported worsening snows through the passes. We seem to be stepping into a harsh winter. Stay warm and give my regards to your family and Simond. Yours always, Magda. Right? And this is probably... That probably should have saved things. We're going to wrap up this episode here. Looks like it's going to take one more episode to finish off this Let's Play. Anyway, I am James Johnson, aka Softblade. Hopefully you're enjoying this content. If so, please leave a like and subscribe. And until the next time, all, peace.